Hey guys, Mark here, Extreme Underbrushing. I just wanted to bring you guys another video. At this video, I'm going to talk about the market, in kind of our industry. I've had a lot of emails, a lot of guys calling in. I've talked to some of you guys. We've even worked for a couple of you guys, and it seems to be working really well. And then I've had guys that say, why are you helping out? Why are you telling people things? Why are you doing that? Maybe a little bit more on the kind of closed book end of the ideal. The reason why I'm doing these videos, guys, is I'm trying to maintain a good market. I'm trying to keep a really good market for my future, my company, and my kids. I hope that this business goes a lot longer, and that my kids can pick it up, and we can, have a really good future, and maybe they can have a future in this too. And that's what I want to do. I want to kind of educate and try to, so we can maintain a really good market. People may know where to start and stop, and just give some ideals. I can't, give all of my pricing or, of these things, because, I still do have a business, and we still have our competitive edge on our field, and I have to kind of maintain that. But I do want to get you guys really close, and I really want to get you guys in the ballpark of where we're at and other good companies are at, so you can, maintain the market. This video is going to be called Trashing the Market, and that is going to be what happens when somebody comes in and they don't understand what this is, but they want to get into it, and they do they have bad pricing. They don't understand pricing. They put something too low, and when that happens, they might be in and out of this really, really quickly, and everybody else will still be cleaning up after them. But I want to tell you guys a little bit of why I have the passion to kind of do this stuff. And it's because, we have a family business here, and it was a 30-year-old business. We were doing the tree removal, hazardous tree removal, stump grinding stuff, and a really good business. A lot of passion from my family doing the business. A lot of really good guys that had worked for us, maintaining for a long time. And sadly, what had happened was the market got flooded with companies that weren't doing it the right way. They weren't doing it legally, and I'm gonna tiptoe on this a little bit, because I don't want to offend anybody. And I know, some people are going to get offended. That's going to happen, granted. But we had the market flooded with guys doing things illegally, and we had these guys come in with like more of a landscape design, not the good landscape guys, but more of a lower budget landscape design, and they come in and they just really wiped out the industry. And what had happened was the prices got so low that no business really could stay up. Just a very, very few. It got to where it wasn't worth it. It was too stressful. These guys were risking their lives every day to go up and do these really, really dangerous jobs, and they were getting just pennies on the dollar for it. It was really sad. And then the customers, they just look for the price, and they would get that price, and they would send these guys up these trees. And unfortunately, some of these guys, not for us but other companies, these guys did get hurt really bad, and some of them passed away from it. And there was no insurance, no background, anything for these little small companies. So they were thinking about a little bit of a profit first. And what that did is it trashed the market. It sent the good companies that did cover their guys and took the time to do things the right way. It put them out, and it put the guys that were not doing stuff the right way, didn't have coverage, and it put them in. And it was really sad to see it happen like that. But what we did is we decided that we were going to pick up and go to a more of a style of business that would demand that it had high quality equipment, demand that it had high quality you know, employees, operators, stuff like this, where it was harder to, you know, to go down that direction. And lately, we've seen that it's being attempted again in this field, and it's really sad. So we thought, what is a way where we can contribute? What is a way that we can, you know, maybe stop that from happening? And it was the thought, well, okay, well, why don't we educate everybody? Why don't we tell them what we know and see if that might help out a little bit? And so that's what this attempt is, guys. You know, I wasn't sure if it was going to work, and it seems like it is, and I'm really glad for that. So I'm really appreciative to you guys, and from the guys that used to follow me on my other channel. We're going to be back up to 1,000 subscribers in no time, and that's awesome. And we're going to take you guys through some in-depth look at our company. We have a lot of exciting things coming on, as far as we got some new equipment on the way. We've got some new advertising stuff going on the way. We've got some new events coming up, and I'm going to take you guys through all of this stuff with us, so you guys will know what it is. So that's kind of the history of where we came from. A little bit of it, and there's more, but we'll just kind of move on. I want to talk to you guys about trashing the market. Okay, whenever you guys are coming into this and you have, you know, you're just really wanting to get work, and you want to put something real low out on the internet, don't do that. It's a really bad idea, because the internet will keep your prices if you know nothing about these prices. And let's just go ahead and say you want to put $75 an hour out for your service in our industry. That's pretty much lower than operation cost. But you didn't know, so you put it out there, and you got out there, you realized you couldn't do it, and then you're either out of business or you've brought a new piece of equipment and you realize the cost is triple. So what happens is all of the customers, everybody out there looking, will still find your initial cost basis for up to 6-7 years, and it'll be, you know, it'll be there. So everybody, it has to pay for that. We have to go against it. Whenever people want to find the cheapest stuff, that's going to come up, and you might not even be in the industry. You might, you know, go back to the job that, you know, maybe, I know a lot of these guys are coming in and out of jobs and they decide to do this and they go back, but everybody's still paying for that, and that's what trashing the industry is. People end up saying, well, okay, well, we can't do that, but I don't know, let's, you know, I'll meet you in the middle, and so the prices come down and down and down. These pieces of equipment, on the other hand, are going up and up and up and up. Every year they get more expensive because there's more technology and more things that they add to them. And we are constantly fighting against that. So you got to, if you want to do really, really low prices on something, you need to either go door to door or, you know, do something, you know, like that. Don't put it out on the web where everybody else is going to have to compete against that for the next 6 or 7 years, because that brings it down and down and down. And the other thing, you know, what you have to worry about is, you know, the customers. Say you're not the guy that put that number out there, but your customers are saying, hey, I know this guy that did this price, and he did my neighbor and everything else. And even they don't know that that guy no longer is in business. He's no longer being able to do those prices because, you know, they didn't work out for him. But the customer's still basing everything off of that price. So this is what I tell guys: the customer is not always right. I know that's a saying, customer's always right. The customer is not always right. And the reason why they're not always right is because they're not educated fully on your field. If you are the expert in your industry, in your field, it is your job to educate the customer. So they don't know exactly everything until you educate them. So education of what you do is a very, very big part of running your own business. You need to educate them on your service and what you do, and you know, so they can know why you're charging what you charge. Every company is not the same. Your you know, your service might add and subtract things that another company could. And I know you guys know that every piece of machinery out there is not the same. They are not equal. You know, a kubota is not equal to a cat. a Bobcat and a Terex. They're not the same machine either. And they all have their advantages and disadvantages. Some of these machines are entry-level machines, and they aren't going to give you as much quantity. Say if you had a Kubota with a rotary style head, this is an entry-level design, an entry-level product, and it's not going to yield you the same results is, say, a cat with a FAE head on it, which is a really high-performing head, or even a Bobcat with a smaller Fecon head if it had a smaller design, because you can run big heads or small heads. Even that is going to yield you completely different results. And of course, Bobcat can have big heads, FAE heads too, same whichever, but whatever one you want to combine. But they're not the same. They're not going to give you the same results. So you have to educate your customer on what you have and what your machine is going to do, so they know the reason why this other company is cheaper, and they know the reason why you're more expensive. Stick to your guns on these prices, guys, because what you offer is not what your what your competitor offers, and you might not even know what they offer, and they might not be offering the same. So you have to say, hey, this is what I have, guys. This is a good product. This is what I'm going to give you, and I think you're going to benefit better from what I have. Based on this education that I just gave you. You word it any way you want to do it, but that's the goal. The goal is to sell your product, give them a good product, and be honest. We talked about bashing your competitors. You don't want to bash your competitors. You don't even need to ever mention your competitor's name. But if you have facts about your machine, that's not bashing your competitor. If you have a really good machine, you need to be able to tell these guys, hey, look, I have a really good machine, and this is a really good product, and it is a new product, and that's the reason why you should go with me. If another company has a less of a machine, an inferior machine, they will have to do double. If it's hour, they'll have to do double the hour that your machine might do. So you need to let them know that. If they're going to use an entry-level machine, they're going to have to do double the hours of your, new state-of-the-art machine. So these are all things that you have to do by, educate them. Tell these guys, what you can do, how you can do it, what your machine's going to do, and what it's going to leave. Always be honest. The more honest you can be, the better. If another guy gets work by being dishonest, and he's dishonest, and his machine isn't good, guys, let him have it. You don't have to have every job. You don't need to win every one. You don't want every job. You don't want every customer. I can guarantee you that. If you guys have gut feelings and intuition and say, hey, this isn't good, it might not be good for you. Just walk away. Stick to your guns. Stick to your pricing. Know what you're giving them, and give them a good product for a good, a good price. I'm going to do another video, guys. I'm going to go into what to expect out of a mulching company. Maybe that be a little bit for you guys that are contractors, a little bit for you guys that are the customers, and to know what to expect, because there's many ways to do things versus hourly, turnkey, acre. I'm jumbling today, but acre pricing. There's not one set way. We have 4 different price scales, from hourly to daily, acreage. And the reason we have these is because they're not fit. One price scale is not fit for everybody. Some customers feel more comfortable about this pricing or that pricing, and it's because of something they've seen on the internet. Some guy might have said, hey, don't do this, don't do hourly, do daily, don't do daily, do acreage. You don't know where they're coming from, but they're coming from somewhere, so you got to educate them and tell them. I personally, we do hourly, but I don't like doing hourly. I think it's the it's the least beneficial to us, for the fact that when you're hourly, you're basically allowing the customer to be your boss. And I don't know about you guys, but if you had a boss and he didn't know anything about what you did, you would have a really bad boss. And I know that kind of sounds bad, but I've had bosses that didn't know anything about what I did, and it was like, oh, why did they hire this guy, right? So that's what you get when hourly. You might get a good one, but you might get a bad one. You might get one that says, hey, you know, do this, this, and this. You're like, I can't do that, you know. Hourly is always going to keep you at that end where it's a possibility that you might have a boss that doesn't know what they're doing. So if you can keep that from happening and have you being the boss, it's always good, because hey, you're the expert, you know what you're doing, and so you need to keep the reins in your hand. So that's the way to go. So that's why we tend to shy away from hourly. But when we have these guys, you know, these ranchers and you know, these guys, contractors and stuff, that they know what they're doing, they know how this kind of stuff works, you know, and it's a real comfortable relationship, and it's not a big deal. So I kind of I pick and choose really, and if somebody wants me to go hourly, I don't have to. You know, I can tell them I'm not going to go hourly. I'm sorry. I'm going to go by the acre, or I'm going to go by the day, or I'm just going to give you a turnkey price. Turnkey pricing means that you're going to say you give somebody $1,000 price for their lot, their backyard. You go out there, you knock it out in 30 minutes to an hour, whatever it is. You're basically basing the price and the profit off of your ability. So you're using the best of your machine, the best of your operator, and that is, you know, that's the best case scenario. But that's pretty much it, guys. You know, I think I was, hopefully I was clear enough on that. You know, sorry, there's a bees in here. And I'll do another video of how the pricing works and stuff on some of the other processes and what you to expect. But stay tuned for those, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll bring you more to those, and be safe.